So you're looking to refreshen your stockpile, your existing stockpile for those who have begun. Let's talk about it back in a minute. John from New York City. I live here and I love to help people keep some more of their own hard-earned money. But more importantly, I am part of a really cool collab tonight. Thank you so much for the At Home with Lynn Wilson channel, and also working with Dawn from Money Mom's channel, Centsible Living with Money Mom. Such a wonderful invitation. Thank you so much. I like to just mention a couple of things that, in my honest opinion, can update our existing stockpiles without breaking the bank. Nobody wants to break the bank. First of all, if you have an existing stockpile, re-examine it. Are things out of order? Are things harder to find? Shouldn't be. The easiest thing in the world, which costs us absolutely nothing, but a couple of minutes of our time, is to make sure that our things are in the proper categories. Soups with soups, canned goods with canned goods, and so on and so forth. Think of it as going into a supermarket. You're not going to find fresh meat in the canned soup aisle. We hope not to. I mean, like sitting on the middle of the shelf, right? So if we have a mishmash in our own stockpiles at home, let's think of how hard that is to look things up fast. Also, really important to rotate our stuff. Keep the oldest things in the front of when you're grabbing something, and make sure you rotate your cans, for example. The newer cans go in the back. I know it seems like common sense, but all of us could forget or make a mistake on occasion. That's why it's really important to look it over every once in a while. Also, where is your stockpile? Is it, well, in an inaccessible location? Perhaps reconsider where your stockpile is located. For example, right now, I'm in the middle of reorganizing my stockpile. I have that in a separate room, which is also /stockpile/ my office, if you will, my home office. So that's what I have it in. And I turned an old or an extra guest bedroom into that. I turned it into an office / stockpile room. It makes life a lot easier for me to have it in there. Sort of kind of like my own walk-in pantry. If you happen to be blessed enough with a spare room, you could turn that spare room into your walk-in pantry. For a song, let's see. It's really important to keep things accessible. Okay, now, if you have some things that you kind of regret that you purchased that isn't going anywhere other than possibly decaying and possibly turning into future food waste, we don't like that. I know none of us really like that. Consider at this time, while you are inventorying your stuff, going through the inventory of your existing stuff, to pull away those items that, well, they really should be given to someone else, because deep down, you're not going to use them. Which leads me to my very next and really important point. Don't purchase things that your family really doesn't like to use. If you're not going to like to use it, just because it's on sale doesn't mean you're going to like to use it. Forget about beauty metrics. Yeah, it may be really, really cute to have piles and piles of beans, tons and tons of flour, tons and tons of rice, all of this stuff, the standby stuff, tons and tons of oats. But if you really don't use much of that stuff, or don't even like to use that stuff, I wouldn't get it. Just saying. So if I don't need it, because I don't want it, I won't need it. So why should I stock it? I know, it sounds crazy, but it's actually really, really a simple thing to remember. Only stock up on the things that your family actually uses. Just saying. Now, I have discovered on my stockpiling journey in the last, well, almost 2 years, actually over 2 years practically before you know it, that I have discovered a really, really key ingredient. And it's great to work with ingredients. For example, I've discovered that tuna fish in a pouch, very reasonably inexpensive, and it is a great source of protein. and you could do many things with it, for example. And it has a pretty long shelf life because those things are packed in what looks like Mylar. Okay, I'm not positive, so don't quote me on it. But I have been known, for example, I purchased one of those 10 packs of the tuna about a year and a half back. And I'm telling you, it is still good, and I still get use of it whenever I want. You could get similar pouches in chicken. You could use it for chicken salad, chicken croquettes, whatever. You could figure it out. Let your heart figure it out and get very, very creative. Now, a thoroughly versed friend of mine who has an extensive stockpile says the following tip is really important. So while you're building up your stockpile or refreshing it, focus on ingredients of things that you can put together, things that you could put together that you like, that your family actually uses. So that requires a little bit of thinking. Now, in my case, I was never a huge fan of beans until later on in life, but my preference is to get canned beans or canned peas. I don't necessarily prefer the fresh stuff. So for me, canned beans is what's going to work for my stockpile. Another thing, don't let other people's stockpile ever intimidate you. Everybody's family is different. Everybody's family's preference is different. So therefore, don't get overwhelmed looking at like ginormous stockpiles and thinking that you have to live up to that. And a word to the wise, beyond refreshing our current and existing stockpile, for those that are at the totally beginning, oh my word, definitely Lynn Wilson from the At Home with Lynn Wilson channel. Let me tell you something. She has just so many of those beginning your stockpile type videos. So encouraging. The tips and the tricks are just amazing. So she also has helped inspire me. Well, I really hope and pray that these tips and tricks will help inspire you. I'm into about my second year of doing this, and I have a little bit of news that I am considering now graduating to getting another shelving system. And I want to mention that to you. I use plastic shelving system. You could find that on some of my other stockpile videos, and I could actually hook them up in the description below. Now, this shelving system for me is inexpensive. It's like under $35 or under $40. And so far, I'm at 2. I may work my way into the 3rd. So for me, this is like a graduation step. So hopefully at some point in the next few months, I will get that extra shelving system. For me, it works. And that's the trick. Know what works for you. Be realistic about it. You don't have to spend a gazillion dollars to update your stockpile. You don't have to spend a gazillion dollars to refreshen your stockpile or to begin your stockpile. My stockpile began with a couple of cans. For example, you could go into your active pantry, the one that you have that you use for, let's say, the next 2 weeks of your food. Borrow a couple of those canned items out of that if you want, and begin your future stockpile with that. All it takes is a couple of cans to begin. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you again, Lynn, so much for the invite to this collab. I really hope it helps someone. And also, don't forget to check out Dawn at the Centsible Living with Money Mom channel for her collaborative video. I don't know what Lynn's going to say in her video. I have no clue what Dawn's going to say in her video, but I can know this, that the information will definitely be of most help to all of us. So just saying, take good care. Have an amazing day. And if you found value in my video, don't forget to have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care now. Bye-bye.